So I need to like nod to be like so every time. Welcome back to Hired and Wired, your caffeine-fueled podcast where we entertain you with workplace topics, office humor, and absolute nonsense. We're on a special episode today where we are clearly outside, if you couldn't tell. And you're back in the girls' room. It's just the three of us. 1, 2, 3. Dally was in a bum-ass mood, so sorry about it.
He will kill us all if you put that in there.
He's gotta deal with us every day.
What?
The video you sent in the chat was funny.
Because it was very accurate. It was like 100%.
Yeah, what
him,
did
right?
it say again?
Last time he was in a bad mood, I tried to cheer him up, but I don't have the energy for it today, so he can just stay grumpy.
Stay grumpy. I don't care. So other than that, this is a special birthday episode. It is Carissa's birthday. Carissa, thank you for being born. Thank you for gracing us with your presence one Aries season 26 years ago. What's your birthday wish?
I think when I blew out my birthday candle this weekend, I think I wished for health, happiness, and prosperity.
You're so fake.
No, I really did. Because I was like on the spot and I had to blow this candle out, and I was like, what can I say that like encompasses everything that I could possibly desire? Health, happiness, prosperity.
You think quick on your feet. I feel like if it was me, I'd be like, $1 million. Holy crap. $1 million. Sorry, also, I will just say this right now. If a freaking wasp comes over to me, you will see me gone. Gone.
They are circling us.
Yeah, there was one over there by Belle.
It's just because we're so sweet.
Period. We really are. Especially with you and your health and prosperity, and what was the other thing? Happiness.
Happiness.
Oh, so fun.
Or joy or some.
So fun.
Shit.
Ooh, that's just a regular bug. Just a regular old bug,
outside.
and all the bugs need to go back to hell where they came from, first of all. Although I am happy it's warm. So going into the topic today, I want us to talk about something that's going to be very relatable to most people in the workplace, definitely women. I know plenty of men struggle with this as well, but I definitely think it's something that is so common these days. You didn't really see it a lot before, but I think now that people are open to being so much more vulnerable with like how they feel in their work environment and things like that. But the topic I want to bring today is combating imposter syndrome in the corporate world. I think I can speak for myself and say that there is a feeling behind imposter syndrome that I could actually never put words to, like, you know what I mean? Like the words imposter syndrome, like the phrase, right? Like you felt that way before the phrase was like popular.
Should we define it?
Yeah. So what is imposter syndrome? I feel like imposter syndrome is like, if you know, you know. You know, like if you don't, good for you.
Imposter syndrome in the workplace is the persistent feeling of self-doubt and inadequacy despite evidence of competence and accomplishments, leading to fear of being exposed as a fraud.
Okay, it is the despite proven otherwise that you still feel that way for me. Because so one of the things I when I was doing a little bit of research on this topic, there's a doctor, her name is Valerie Young, and she actually is a global thought leader on imposter syndrome and a co-founder on the Imposter Syndrome Institute, which did not know was a real thing, didn't know was a thing, but it is. And something crazy high, like 70 to 80% of people in like experience imposter syndrome in their workplace. Also, like 60% of statistics are made up on the spot.
Just in general?
No.
Just for this.
Just for this. No, really, it's like 70 to 80%, something crazy like that. And according to Dr. Young, there are 5 main types of imposter syndrome. And I'm gonna list them, and the reason why is because I want us to talk about which one, tag yourself, which one are you? So main types of imposter syndrome: the perfectionist, which is if I don't get it 100% right, I've failed. The superhuman, if I'm not working harder than everyone else, I'm falling behind. The natural genius, if it doesn't come easily, I'm not smart enough. The soloist, if I need help, then I'm a failure. And then the expert, if I don't know everything, I'm unqualified.
It's funny because going into this topic, I was like, oh, I don't have imposter syndrome. Like I was telling it at the desk, but now that you're reading off those different examples, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that like falls under imposter syndrome, and I feel like I can definitely relate to a few of those.
Which one would you say that you relate to the most?
Probably the one, like, if I have to ask for help, like I have a hard time like asking questions in the workplace because I feel like it's gonna make me look like I'm not knowledgeable or that I'm dumb or whatever. And also the perfectionist one. Like if I don't do something right the first time and I get like, you know, coached on it or whatever, like I'm immediately like, oh, they're gonna fire me. Like
this is it. This is how it ends.
The end.
Belle, which one are you? Or combination of?
Yeah, what was the last one again?
The expert. If I don't know everything, I'm unqualified.
Yeah, I kind of go with that. The one, and then obviously I feel like everyone tries to be perfect.
Yeah.
So the first one as well. But for me, I'm like, if I know, there's some people which like kudos to them that they don't have to really try, just like things just like
come naturally.
Yeah. Like I don't have a photographic memory, unfortunately.
No.
But I know for me, I have to like try pretty hard to get what results, and if I don't try, like it's just not gonna happen, is how I feel. Yeah.
I would say it's super relatable. I am I think the exact thing, a combination of the perfectionist and the expert, because if I don't know everything, right, I'm like, I must not be good enough to do this. Okay, so think about applying for a job, right? You're reading through a job description and you're like, if I don't check every box, I'm not qualified.
Right. Yeah.
Which is wild because we work in staffing and we know that's not true. So it's despite it being proven otherwise, you still believe that it's a real belief about yourself, right? Which to me is crazy. I think there is a, it's like, okay, Lorena Cipriani, for example, I have looked up to her as a mentor for many years, and she would always tell me like, you're great, like you're killing it, like you're doing amazing. And it's like, I want you to know that just because you say that and I hear it and I process it doesn't mean I believe you. Like sounds fake, but okay.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? That couldn't be me.
Yeah,
couldn't be.
That's me to a T.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And I think what's also wild is the fact that even though people are more widely talking about imposter syndrome now, yet we still sit here dealing with it on a regular basis. What's your biggest fear when it comes to having imposter syndrome? Like, what does it mean about you? Like,
fear, baby. It stems from childhood.
Trauma. We're about the trauma bond.
I'm a fear baby, I think.
You are?
Yeah.
What about you, Carissa? What is your imposter syndrome? What does that actually mean? Like, what's the belief?
I would say like fear of failure is like a big one for me.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just my personality. Like I'm very type A, very like driven person.
Yeah.
Perfectionist. And so when I when I have self-doubt or fear, I tend to hold myself back.
Yeah.
And so like whether that be from like my job or whatever it is, like if I feel like I'm not going to be great at something or I'm not going to be able to like perfect it, then I just don't do it at all.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like sad, honestly, because it's like I deserve to like put myself out there and take a chance on myself and
Girl, I agree.
Go into the unknown, but it's definitely something that I struggle with.
For me, I think what my biggest fear is with imposter syndrome, like the belief, the ending of the story for me is that I'm going to be just like exposed. Like everyone's gonna know.
Right.
Everyone's gonna know I'm faking it. Like everyone's gonna know that I'm not the real deal. Like it's just me at the end of the day. Like I am who I am. Not this like great, like you know what I mean? Like great as a concept. Once you see like the truth, I'm a fraud. Like at the end of the day. Like I feel that way even sitting here, like talking on this podcast.
One of my old bosses, he said, he's like, he said, if you don't cheat, you don't win.
What?
He's like, if you don't cheat, you don't win.
Oh my God.
That kind of like stuck by me, but I mean.
That is so.
What was the relevance?
Okay, so speaking of that, is Talk about imposter syndrome. Yeah, Your Honor. Speaking of imposter syndrome, who gives advice like that? Oh, that's
That shot's
period.
fired on the pod.
I won't say that. Speaking of imposter syndrome, like who gives advice that you have to cheat in order to win?
What do you think?
Like,
That kind of like threw me through like a mind.
it's crazy. Ooh.
a mind game.
Ooh.
Is it here? Is it here?
No, it's gone.
Okay. Ah, no, he's here.
He's back.
I can sense fear.
Yeah, don't breathe too hard. Don't breathe. Well,
Our honorary guest. Our
the
first
Wasps.
guest.
our first official podcast.
Wait,
the
okay,
Wasps.
let me.
So what I was saying is, speaking of, when it comes to imposter syndrome, like think about it. Who really gives advice that you have to cheat to win? Someone who doesn't believe that getting there authentically is good enough.
Period.
Like even the worst career advice you've ever gotten is rooted in imposter syndrome, in my opinion.
Their own
That's a good
doubts that are
take.
like
Yeah.
protruding onto you.
They are projecting. I actually saw this this post on Instagram the other day, and I was like, it was one of those like, okay, that's enough internet for the day kind of things. I was like, that's one of those enough internet for the day kind of things. And it basically said that the potential you see in other people is not real. It's you projecting what you would do if you were in their shoes.
That's pretty deep.
I know. That's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna close Instagram for
You
the
actually
day.
posted one today that I really liked. It was like, what if you stopped holding yourself back or something
What
like
if
that?
everything worked out?
Yeah, and that's like something I have to tell myself all the time. Like,
Yeah.
not only like professionally, but like in my real life.
Yes.
Like, I am such like a what if, or thinking about like the worst case scenarios,
Yeah.
or like I just don't like the unknown in any situation, and so I tend to like keep myself in this my little comfort
Your
zone,
safety.
even though I know that whatever's out there could be like 10 times better than what I have. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so afraid of like going out and going after it,
Yeah.
So that's something I'm trying to challenge myself on this year, is like, don't hold yourself back based
Yeah.
on like hypothetical fears.
100. That's so real.
Yeah.
I listened to a podcast on manifesting. There was a time a couple years ago where I really wanted to like kind of take control of my circle, like you said, your circle of control, and figure out like, how can I stop sitting on the sidelines and be an active participant in my own life? And so I started listening to a lot of podcasts on manifesting. And one thing I realized about myself is I think a lot of people sit in the seat you're sitting in, right? Like everyone's like, what if, but they're like, what if insert negative like end result here. It's never like, what if I freaking win the lottery and get to move to a private, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is to an extent a negative manifestation of whatever it is. Like if you look at yourself every day and you tell yourself you can't do something, at some point you're going to start believing it.
Yeah.
Same thing with the positive.
Mic
You just
drop.
got to do a little reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
that's good.
Now I'm not going to do that, but you should.
yeah, I actually, for the beginning of going into this year, one of my New Year's resolutions was to like manifest more and like think more positively, because that's something that I struggle with. I'm more of like a glass half empty kind of gal.
You're just pragmatist
Very
to your
much.
core.
And I'm trying to like change that, because it is a mindset.
It works for you sometimes, or like,
Yeah.
right, or does it not?
No, I think it does.
I think like, I don't know, like I just like, anytime I try to do it, it just sounds so silly to me, like to dream, to allow myself to dream of like this perfect world, because I'm like, we don't live in a perfect world. And like then I start thinking of like, oh, that would be so impractical, like I'll never be able to like have this like peak career or this big house or like whatever it is that I'm dreaming of. And so I like hold myself back from like even trying to go after those things before, like I don't even let myself go down that path, because I'm just like, nope, dreaming's not for me. Like I'm not a dreamer, I'm a realist, you know.
You don't want to be disappointed.
Yeah, and it takes like training your mind. And,
Yeah.
like, it
Okay,
takes
therapist.
a whole like your subconscious. I don't. Is it your subconscious that is the one that isn't ever right? There's something.
One of them is wrong
something
all of
in
the time. That's all I know.
But yeah, and then like back to like how I say I'm a fear baby.
Yeah.
I feel like no matter how much I do, is like I still feel behind.
Yeah.
Like this day, for example, was like good, but like sometimes I'll catch myself finding ways to complain about, like always something to complain about. Maybe that's not fear related, but another note. Yeah,
I think that, okay, I'm gonna hit you with another little insightful tidbit here. I think that there is comfort in complaining, because if you can complain out loud, you can make your environment actually feel negative, so that the negative beliefs that you have are not fake.
Yeah.
You're creating this whole realm, not a fairy one, not the kind we want. You're creating this whole realm where you can justify like your own negative beliefs and thoughts about yourself.
Yeah.
That's good.
Personally, let's talk about being a woman in the workplace.
Let's go a little deeper.
Yeah, let's get on. Okay, so we'll talk about being a woman in corporate America, especially a woman in your 20s. Again, not in my 20s, but I was once, not that long ago. And I think that most women can relate to the fact that you automatically, I think, feel a little bit behind. Whether or not that's valid or rational is not from my place to say, but I will say I think it is normal that women feel that way when they walk into the workplace, right? You feel a little bit inferior. If you don't, and that's not you, like, yes, you get it, sis, like, you go. Like, how do you combat that? Like, how do you combat that on a daily basis to stay focused and like move forward, like stay on the grind, because you can't talk yourself out of it?
Yeah. I feel like I try not to like compare myself to other groups. Like, I try to just like compare myself to myself, as harsh as that sounds, but like I am my biggest competitor and like I am my harshest critic. And so I tend to kind of just like
advocate.
I kind of tend to just like focus on myself and like my group and my team.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, if I spend enough time like looking at leadership boards and like, you know, or like just being on LinkedIn and seeing all of these like, you know, CEOs, and not really picturing myself in any of those, fitting into any of those, like not fitting into any of those spaces. Like, I don't look like them. I don't come from money like them. I didn't go to some Ivy League school like them. I didn't, like, it just seems like it can feel frustrating. Like, like you were saying, like, I feel behind before I even started. Because it's like, okay, I got into this corporate job, I've been hustling, I really want to get into a leadership role, but then it's like, I look around and I'm like, am I gonna ever get into leadership, or am I just gonna always be stuck in this kind of like producer role because I don't have what it takes to get to that next level? And sometimes I wonder, like, if I was like that middle class white man, like, would I be promoted quicker than who I am now? You know what I mean? And I know it's a lot worse for other groups, like, you know, are at a more disadvantage than I am. Like, I know that I am privileged when it comes to the workplace in certain areas, but I think it's also okay to admit that, like, I'm unprivileged in some ways too. And so just like trying to navigate that while like also navigating your own self-doubt, like that can be frustrating, because it's like, is there even worth going after if there's not like space
I don't
for me?
even feel like I deserve my imposter syndrome.
You
know what I mean? Like, what do I really have to complain about? Like, there is also that justification. Always, it could be worse. It doesn't mean that what you feel isn't valid.
Yeah. One of my favorite things that my dad has ever said is that two things can be true at the same time. Like, you can be at a disadvantage while also knowing that there's people out there that are more disadvantaged than you are. Or like, not the wave.
I thought it was your phone.
No.
I feel like your phone is like low-key indestructible.
Kind of is. Like, they always be roasting my phone.
That's because it's ancient.
Okay.
It still has the button that you click to go to the home screen.
Haters gonna hate.
Should be slinging
it's
it
free,
around.
okay? Yeah.
So is mine, and it's like a 15.
Anyways, back to what I was saying.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
No. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Two things can be right at the same time. Like, I can acknowledge that, like, I am disadvantaged in some ways, like being a woman in the workplace, but I can also admit that, like, there are people who are more disadvantaged than I am. And so it's just like trying to navigate that internally and be like, come to terms with it, I guess. I feel like one of the things too that women have, and this is kind of like a little side topic, but like trying to like be a woman in your 20s or your 30s, like climbing the corporate ladder, but also having to juggle like outside things, like getting married, starting a family, like becoming a mother, if that's something that you choose to do. And there's not a lot of support system in corporate for that. And like, one, maternity leave in America is a joke.
No, facts.
And two, like a lot of, like I'm seeing on LinkedIn women being on maternity leave and getting let go, or like coming back and like their team got laid off, and it's like just there's no security for women who like are wanting to start a family. And so it's hard. It's like you almost have to choose, like, do I want to like start a successful career, or do I want to have a family? Because it seems like it's almost impossible in this day and age to have both without sacrificing time from one or the other. And it doesn't seem like that's one of the things that men have to deal with. And I think that's where like there's a big gap.
Okay, so on that note, Carissa, like I'm so glad that you brought that up, because as someone who's been in corporate America for long enough, I'm also a mother, right?
Bitch, I'm a mother.
So I'm also a mother.
A hot mom.
As
Dolly would say.
Yes. Oh my God. Happy International Women's Day. Okay. So I became a mom. Like I did those things, and yes, your career kind of goes on the back burner, but it's more than just your career. It's your entire existence. Yeah. Okay. Like I have had this conversation many times recently where I've kind of said, like, I feel like I'm finally at this point in like my life, my career, whatever it is, that like I'm figuring out like my adult identity, like who I am outside of being a mom, right? And there's a sense of freedom and independence that comes along with that that's just like invaluable. You can't put a price on that. And it's like I know who I am, but it's also pushing myself to like reach the goals that I want to reach, do something for myself personally. And I think the biggest struggle I have when it comes to it is you feel like guilty as a parent or like whatever, you know, it's, case in point is that you can't win. You're always going to have doubt. You're going to self-doubt. So in the meantime, in the midst of all of that happening, do what makes you happy.
Because you kept your job, like you're like a prime example.
I did. I kept my job, and I actually stayed at home and worked with my kid for like several months.
I was gonna say
10 out of 10 do not recommend doing that. But that was horrible.
Is there time like now, for example, like that you being a mom, do you ever feel guilty for not being with your kid? Or
I have a process on justification.
That's good.
Because I mean, I have a therapist, like I know I'm very, if there's anything in my life that I feel the utmost sense of confidence and pride in, it's being a mom. And I know I'm a good mom. There's not a single soul on this person who's gonna ever be able to convince me otherwise.
That's cool.
I put in the work to be there for my kids. Like I do everything to the best of my ability. So whenever I do take time for myself, like you feel a little bit at first, like initially, like if I'm going out of town or something, like when I'm leaving, like of course I feel that, but then I do have a more easy time justifying like my, you know, it's okay for me to be an individual outside of this.
Yeah.
My two favorite things are being with my kids and not being with my kids. If you know, you know. I think that my kids need to see me live my life.
Yeah.
If there's that saying, like, you would die for your kids, but would you live for them?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's like pretty cool you found that balance, because like I could see that being a struggle, you know, like
I
know a lot of women
like
struggle
guilt,
with that,
you know, maybe guilt, whatever it is.
Yeah, and that's not to say it's not there, but
I think it's also like really healthy to have your alone time, you know, like go live your life like you said.
Yeah.
Get that nanny in there.
I'm a better person because I take time for myself. Like I'm a better mom because I go out with my girlfriends. Like I'm a better mom because I go out of town. Like
I ask Jordan all the time, I'm like, have you ever thought about being a stay-at-home mom? And she was like, I would go crazy. Like I have to have my career. I have to have my work. And
how do you feel? Yeah.
I feel like it's different for everyone. Like I personally, like that's something that like, that's the phase that I'm in right now is like, me and my husband are starting to think about starting a family. And so it's like, am I willing to make that sacrifice of like letting go of this career that I've already put so much work into over the past few years so that I can step back and be like a really present mom that's there all the time?
Yeah.
And like, will I regret that later in life, or like, will I regret like not taking the time away from my career and like having that family time? So it's like, it's difficult because I feel like no matter what you do, like there's always going to be something that has to be sacrificed, like either time at your work or time with your family. And I think Jordan's found like a really great way of like balancing those feelings in a really healthy way. Well, like,
That's so nice.
and yeah, but like I think a lot of women struggle with that, like, you know, choosing like to have a family and have a career. Like, it's no easy feat.
No, but you can have both.
You can have both, and if you choose not to have both, like there's no shame to that either.
No.
Like, I think it's admirable no matter what. Like,
I know, I like, for me, I know I would lose it if I was just a stay-at-home mom.
Girl.
I couldn't. No.
see, my husband knows I'm ready to be a stay-at-home dog mom, so
Different.
if I have a kid at home,
I would lose it. Like,
Yeah,
I need
no.
consistency. I need like some,
yeah.
but to each their own, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to make enough money to retire at 45 so I can just be like pure bar, tennis in the morning, like go to brunch with the girls, like work for some nonprofit organization and podcast.
Like, make your own bread. I like
Like
it.
literally live my freaking life, you know? Like, those are my dreams. I probably would never retire. See, here I go negative manifesting
I would never retire.
at 45.
Yeah.
But that would be the ultimate goal.
CEO,
Yeah.
let's go.
And she's always
Hey.
giving out like money tips. Like, she's very financially smart. So like, if anyone were to make it happen, it'd be her. But it's like, you just see how easily it is for like your own mind to shut down like that dream.
Literally. We've just watched it in real we just watched it happen in real freaking time.
Yeah.
Okay? God, I love that. It's so, like, I feel like we're bonding right now a little bit.
Got like a
Yeah.
little therapy section.
Yeah. It's so nice.
We're catching up.
So because of all that, I cannot like live too much in like a serious mode. And just because of who I am as a person, we're gonna pivot a little bit and do some funny, because we love funny. I love funny. Y'all love
Let's
funny.
lighten it up.
Let's lighten this mood up a little
Like
bit.
the sunshine.
So speaking of being a woman in corporate America, you feel like you have to keep your composure. What is your favorite email corporate burn phrase?
Oh, that's a good one. I hope this
Someone
email
says
finds you
something-
before I do.
Yeah, I hope this email punches you square in the face. What's your favorite? Because you've read that email, you're like, bro, God grant me the grace to be able to keep my mouth shut right now. What are you responding? Just to let them know how you really feel without getting called by HR.
I definitely have to ChatGPT it. Like, because my first, like, this is how I kind of process my feelings via email, is like, I'll open this email and I'll type exactly how I feel into the mail.
Therapy.
Okay? I'll type it out the way I
Journaling,
feel
if you will.
on that paper.
Nope.
And then I take it, I
Yeah, it
copy
really
it, I
depends.
paste it, put it in ChatGPT. I'm like, how can I convey this in a professional manner? And it'll rewrite it all for me, and I'll send it over, and it's like, I know my point still got across, but in a
Yeah.
way that's like more tasteful and blah blah blah.
Chat is so versatile. How
No,
real.
she knows me. She knows my real feelings.
It's a she?
Oh, in my mind, it's
Mine's a
she.
he for sure. Mine's like Dexter Morgan, the Chat GPT bot.
That's funny. Mine's a woman. I don't know. She doesn't mansplain to me. She keeps it simple.
Wait, what's that rat email?
Rat email.
It's like, what do you want, you rat? Like,
Really? Yeah. Okay, Belle, what's your favorite corporate burn via email?
just like being disappointed in the person.
But what do you say?
I'm disappointed in you.
Like, you're like, wow, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm honestly let down. But I do plug it into chat too.
Yeah.
Like, my stakes were high, and now they're a little lower.
You guys are so funny. I'm very classic. Like I am a walking cliche where I'm like, per my last email, just to clarify with you, you know, like those little phrases. Please let me know if you have any other questions.
I think that's
AKA,
good.
do not ask
That's
me if you have any other questions.
Right.
Direct to the
cheers.
point,
I'm a
period.
cheers sign off kind of girl.
Oh.
Oh, you're like, cheers.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
winky face.
Yeah.
It's like, winky face.
It's okay.
I can never be a cheers kind of girl. Like my email signature is always thank you, kind regards,
Next.
best regards, or regards, depending on like if I mess with you or not. You're not getting a cheers from me. Like, I'm not cheersing in the middle of the work week. Like, it's not like I have a beer in my hand, you know? Is it really a cheerful day if I'm at work?
Ain't nothing cheery about it, okay?
Like, I'm here to hustle. I'm here to grind. You might get a kind regards from me, but you're not
Kind
gonna get
regards.
You're not gonna
Who
get
is she?
Cheers.
Who is she? Okay, fine. Okay, if we had a reality show at our office, who is spilling the best tea on the show?
You, Jordan. Then Portia.
Portia.
Carissa would stir too.
I could spread some lore for sure, but Portia would absolutely hit a home run.
yeah.
Because she tells me things I've never even heard. Like today, for example. It's a secret, so we can't tell you, but today, for example.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you know this? She sends me a text yesterday. Did you know what about so-and-so leaving? I'm like, I didn't know so-and-so was leaving. She's like, oh, don't say anything.
Yeah. She's on her P's and Q's always.
She really is. She's got all of the tea, all of the drama. It's piping hot, all of the things. I think I would be spreading some lore though. Although we
I
should
do
have
love
a
spreading
reality.
But for the bit, like.
Yeah.
Never any malicious tea. Actually, depending on my mood.
Depending what verticals cross.
Depending who pisses me off.
Yeah. You should hear Belle. She starts cussing people out when they start using the printer. It's vile. Okay, if you could instantly master a specific skill, what would it be?
Like workplace stuff?
Any. Like I'm gonna go cast a wide net right now.
Are you gonna say coding?
No, but let me tell you, it's going really well.
Roasting in this damn sun.
It's going really well. The coding is going well. Speaking of imposter syndrome, the coding is going really well. I will say I keep having this thought. It's like, at what point in their coding journeys do people actually start considering themselves a software developer?
Once you develop something.
But you do that from the beginning. That's how you learn to code, is by creating.
I guess that's true.
So it's like, at what point are you actually a software engineer?
Are you saying you're a software engineer?
No.
Day two, she's like, I'm a software
No.
Updates LinkedIn.
Oh my God, yeah. Dude, if that was
Start
the case,
applying.
I would be a software engineer. I was like coding my MySpace profile like in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
Like,
That's funny.
But anyway.
Do you see like coding as like Sudoku? You know?
no, I don't even know
You
what
brought that up
mean
last
by
week,
that.
too.
Timeless.
It was really cool because this past week, I know I told you, I texted you guys this because I was geeking
At like 10 p.m.
the F out about it when it happened. But one of the projects I had to create a web page with embedded videos. And so I created a web page for the podcast, and I used the podcast videos from the YouTube channel to like for the site. And it just, I was like doing a happy dance, and it like occurred to me
Well,
that
happy dance.
I was like, in my office at like late at night, you know what I mean? And it occurred to me, I was like, I could do this. Like when I actually really, really learn, like I could create quality products like for this podcast, where it's like its own website versus, you know, in addition to like the YouTube, the Spotify, whatever.
So that's Jordan's side hustle.
It's more of a hobby than anything.
That's pretty cool.
I'm
though.
trying to level up though. Like I feel like learning coding, I'm gonna become a freaking pre-sales engineer,
out here making.
solution engineer, who knows? Something where I can like work with people and with code. I feel like that would be so sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall again. You instantly master a skill. What is the skill, Carissa?
What did you want? A photographic memory? I was thinking like.
If I could instantly master a skill, I would learn how to play the piano.
What about singing?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody want to hear my singing voice.
Well, if you could instantly master it, what would you choose?
I would probably say like the art of negotiation.
Okay.
Courage.
Like,
Okay, Jordan Belfort.
could you imagine like just being able to negotiate with anyone? That's how you could be like the richest, the most famous. Like you can negotiate your way to the top of anything. Like if you know how to carry a conversation, if you know how to convince someone, if you have that like charisma.
Yeah.
I mean, look at
that Riz.
Sorry to go there, but like
You have that W Riz.
But like, it takes you far in life. You just have to choose if you want to use it for good or evil.
Yeah, let's hope you choose good.
I'd say a skill would be like wisdom, you know?
Wisdom is not a skill.
It's gained through experience.
Like, come on. Are you
Okay.
learning to play the guitar? Are you learning to juggle? Like, what is your skill?
I was thinking how to be the smartest person ever, but
You don't
okay.
want to be the smartest person in the room, remember?
Okay, skill. I don't know. I dodged.
Okay.
I'm dodging that one.
Okay.
High key.
Okay, so when you were when you were a kid, what was your when I grow up dream job?
Wanted to be a marine biologist.
Marine biologist.
I wanted to be a marine biologist from when I was like in elementary school all the way until high school.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I have like the biggest fear of sharks in the entire world. Like I am terrified of sharks. I will not go in the ocean past my knees. Like I am like just so afraid of them. But like something about the ocean, like it pulls me in.
Yeah, I just have a mad respect for like whatever's under the surface.
Like I don't want to look, but like I'm a huge like
none of my business.
tide pool girly. Like I love all of like the little, like if you go on it like a tide pool at the beach and like the little crabs, the starfish, like all of the little like sea anemones. Like I could spend hours just like a little kid just like looking through all that stuff, picking up all the rocks. Like that, I love ocean life. I just don't want to have to get in the ocean to look at it. And so
you ever been to the aquarium? I feel like you
But that's
thrive.
not hands-on. That's not hands-on enough.
They have hands. You can literally go to the Georgia Aquarium in Atlanta and swim with the whale sharks.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I went to the Monterey Bay Aquarium in California, which is the one that they filmed Finding Dory after.
Aw.
And like it was like a dream of
Monterey,
mine.
Cali.
And I went, and they had like a little touch area, and I was like, I love hermit crabs. I had hermit crabs growing up. I play with them when I see them at the ocean, and this place had like a little hermit crab
Did you ever go to like Alvin's Island and like see the hermit crabs with like the painted shells that you could buy in like Destin or Panama City when you go and you're like, this is animal abuse, I feel like. You shouldn't have this.
Like, yeah, I had hermit crabs too. Out the wazoo.
His name was Mr. Krabs.
But like, they're so
wow,
nasty.
that's iconic. How original.
I was like 5, okay? Be so for real.
Be so for real.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
A vet, but like, here I am.
So real.
Okay, I love that. A vet, but like here I am. Not a vet. So there's that. I feel like these are both Barbie careers, is what I'm realizing. You both had a dream to have a Barbie career when you grew up. Whereas my dream was to be a
private
cashier at Target because I wanted to be able to push the buttons when I was like little. That was like my
high goals.
I feel like you'd be good in like Secret Service.
Oh, sis, my detective skills are next level. Put me in, coach, in the FBI. My God, I am the world's best internet stalker. Like, find out, you know. Mm-hmm. I'll be knowing like everything about your life. Actually, to be real, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I'm still figuring it out.
Same.
You know, no one grows up like, I can't wait to be in sales. This is just
5-year-old me would be so disappointed.
This is the place we find ourselves.
So disappointed.
I mean, I love sales. Like, it is definitely not it's not one of those Barbie careers that they don't have sales Barbie. Like, that gets presented to you, you know, as a kid or whatever.
But it is the backbone of the economy.
Sales is the backbone, this nation's backbone. How many times a day do you think to yourself, I have no idea what I'm doing?
Professionally or
just in general? Like, in general.
It depends on if I'm disassociating or not.
Well, okay. Dissociating, not dissociating, Belle. How many times a day are you thinking to yourself, I don't have any clue what is going on right now. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I think that's just part of the human existence.
I feel like that right now.
Like, what am I doing with myself?
You're gonna give me an out-of-body experience.
This is a spiritual experience we're having right now.
The like PAs that I have is like, I think I'm here, but then I can like trick my brain to think I'm looking at my body.
Yeah, totally.
Is that normal?
Speaking of that, I watched White Lotus last night, which I'm like behind a couple episodes, but God, y'all need to
gotta
watch
get
this
on that.
shit. If you haven't seen it, oh my God, I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, I just want to know how many times did they have to film this scene before they got it right? Because I would have been absolutely just gut laughing the entire time. Like, there's no way I would have been able to take this seriously. Anything Walton Goggins does, all I see is Uncle Baby Billy from The Righteous Gemstones.
Oh my God. My husband loves that show.
It's so funny. So that's like my dilemma currently with the show, but it's so freaking good.
It is
top tier. Now, guys, as we conclude this episode 4 of Hired and Wired, I feel like the topic that we've brought today is very relatable. I feel like a lot of people can engage in a conversation like this. So as you're going through your week, as you push forward on that next goal, like keep in mind that you're not alone. If you are in the room, if you have a seat at the table, it's because you deserve to be there, right? Like at the end of the day, you have to take facts as facts. And we all have to stop creating these little negative manifestation worlds in our brains where we are the punchline.
And always apply for the job that your dream job.
Yeah.
Not just the job you're qualified for.
If you don't check all the boxes, who cares?
Yeah.
Push forward, So on that note, I'm going to say this. We're here with you, your new favorite coworkers. Once again, thank you for joining us. Tag your friends. If you have a friend who needs to hear this message, tell your friends you love them. Tell them they're good enough. Hype each other up. Build each other up. Thank you for joining us on Hired and Wired. We will see you next week.
Yeah.